and welcome to the channel. In today's Car Chronicles, we are doing a little catch up. I hope by now you're up to date on my videos. You've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of what's going on in the garden. You've gotten a chance to take a look at the projects I've been working on, and now we are here just catching up. So if you'd like to see what I'm here to talk about today in the Car Chronicles, stay tuned. We are in the throes of summer. We have had so many days of 100-degree weather that it has been absolutely unbearable. It's just hot when you wake up. It's hot midday. It's hot when you get off work, and it's even hot when you get ready to go to bed. There just doesn't seem to be a break in the temperatures. We are in the triple digits. We have been in the triple digits for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. And let's see, I think we might have had 2 days that got down to 99. But I don't know about you. 99 is hot. There was a tiny bit of rain, which brought the temperature from 107, 11, down to 99. But it was still extremely hot. It feels like 100% humidity. Last time I checked, the humidity was like about 50 something, and it's just hot. Yeah. So with that being laid out, now you know what it feels like here. How is it in your neck of the woods? Is it as hot as it is here? Because it's hot here. In the garden has been suffering, and I'm hoping that you all saw the video that I talked about my fears about the garden not surviving, my thoughts. So the garden sustained a lot of heat damage. My garden is exposed in the worst way. I don't have any shade unless I put shade in the garden. And I just didn't have the ability to put as much shade as I would like. I would like my entire garden to be shaded, but realistically, yeah, that's not a thing. I mean, I'm not going to be able to shade the entire garden. So I haven't tried. I've tried to shade many aspects, many portions of, oh my goodness. I've tried to shade my garden, but it wasn't enough. And I hope you saw that video. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to try to put it in an iCard up somewhere here or here so that you can see it. It was devastating. I felt really bad about it. But then I had an epiphany. I thought, well, you know what? This is just an opportunity to do a little something else, to do a little something different, to change my path and go in a different direction. And so that's what I've done. And you'll be seeing that in some later videos. I tried to stop worrying about what was dying, and I started to move on to the next thing, because I have a really long growing season here, so I can grow some more stuff. I don't need to sit here and bite my fingernails off and worry about what's being lost and try to stress out, and continue to stress out over things that is dying or are dying, is dead. When you have a long growing season, don't worry about that. Put in something else. That's one of the reasons why many gardeners, and I didn't have an opportunity to do that, nor did I take the time to do that, but I'll be doing that differently next year. They plant more than one of that particular plant, and they have a plant in the wings. That way, if something happens to that plant, they can pop in another. If you have plants in your garden that are struggling, that have been struggling, that you're putting all your effort into it, you're feeding it on a regular schedule, you're watering on a regular schedule, you are doing all the maintenance that you need to do for bug prevention and everything else that you can think of, and that plant is still struggling, it's time to let that plant go if you have a long growing season and do something else. Put another one in. Put something else in. Maybe that particular plant is not the right season for it. We get so ramped up. For me, I get ramped up. You know, it's like, oh, it's time to grow. It's springtime. It's summertime. Well, you might be growing something that's not meant to grow in that season. And when you grow out of the growing season, you end up with a lot of pest pressure. It doesn't like that particular, the heat. It doesn't like the location. That plant will struggle from the moment you put it in the garden until the moment you say, okay, I'm done, and you take it out. And a lot of times it's because that plant is not meant to grow in that season. There's a reason why there's a thing called seasonal food. There's a reason why. So just, you know, look at that. What are you growing? How are you growing it? Where are you growing it? Are you giving it all the necessities? Water, food, you know, taking care of all the things, all the bug pressure things, looking at all of those things that will help you grow a healthy plant. And I had some struggles this particular year because I've moved. I'm putting in several gardens. I'm doing way too much in all the areas of my life. And I had struggled with the garden. And then the summer came, and then the heat rolled in really, really quickly. And because there are no adult trees, there's no shade in my garden was only getting a couple of hours of shade when the sun moved over my house and cast a huge shadow. But it was too much sun and too much heat, and a lot of my plants suffered. So I'm coming on here to say that don't give up. Have plants in the wings and look at what you're trying to grow. It may not be the right plant for that particular season. Like, I have carrots in the ground right now. Carrots in a container. Carrots do not like the heat like that. It's a root vegetable. It likes to grow in the fall and the winter. And I put some in successionally, knowing that it was going to get hot. I have been lucky. They have been growing. However, their growth has begun to stunt. They're not really picking up as much growth, but I'm keeping them watered. I'm trying to keep them under some shade, but they're plants that just don't do well in the sun. Like lettuce. When your plants bolt, when they wilt, they are not meant to be in the conditions that you have them in. So with that being said, that's what today's Chronicles is about. I know I'm hopping all over the place, y'all. I do apologize. That's how my mind is working today, because I got a lot to do in the garden when I get in. And I just wanted to pop on here and talk to you all about the challenges that I've had. You all have seen that. And what's next? I'm going to be planting some fall seedlings. I'm going to be sowing some fall seeds real soon. I'm going to be direct sowing some seeds, and I'm going to be sowing in the new greenhouse. I hope you all have seen that video of the new greenhouse. I will be showing you more excerpts of what's going on in the greenhouse. Right now, the greenhouse is empty. The permanent one that I just put up is empty. The old one, it's not really that old. It's like a year old. The pop-up greenhouse, a little green one that I've had outside in North Texas, that one does have plants in it. I'm not sure if you all have seen those videos, but I've been growing flower seedlings in there. I have been growing, my sweet potato slips have been in there. Just a little bit of, some herbs have been in there. And right now it's just flowers that I need to get out into the garden, but it's just so hot. I think if I put them out now, they'll just die because it's too hot. I am creating a cut flower garden. Some of those flower babies are going to be going into that area. Excuse me, you guys. I have indigestion today. It's just, yeah, I do apologize. But yes, I have a lot going on. And I'm going to take you all along. I'm going to be putting in several more containers, some larger containers, so that I can grow. For next season, I want to grow my squash outside of the 5-gallon buckets. Even though I used squash that were supposed to be good for containers, my squash this year did not do well, and I think they did not do well for one or two reasons. They got too much heat. I didn't have the water that I needed to be able to water them as consistently as they needed to be watered. And the location, they were at the back of the garden. They were supposed to be able to take sun. However, I think the sun that they got was so much that by the time I got in from work, they were wilted. And by the time I got up the next morning, they were up like, hey girl, hey. So yeah, I'm going to be moving some things around in the garden. I've been paying attention to how the sun falls over my house and how much shade the back garden gets during certain parts of the day. I do have some shading in the garden. I have added some shaded areas in the garden. So my fall and my spring of 2024, there are going to be some changes going on, and I want to take you guys along with me, and I hope that you are there for it. I know a couple of you have asked me for a couple of videos. I am working on those. I have not forgotten about you. And if you ask me and you're watching this video right now for a topic, oh, I got it. It's coming. I just have not been able to release it yet, but it is coming, and I do apologize for it taking so long. But like you have said to me in comments, that I have been putting in a lot of sweat equity, and I have done a lot that you all have seen and things that you have not seen. I have more than just a food garden. I have flower gardens as well. I put a flower garden in on the front of my home. I am working on my cut flower garden on the side of my home. And I put in not only drip irrigation in the front of the house in the front flower garden. Uh-oh. That noise is me running over the lines on the road. Uh-oh. I was too quick to get over. I have put a drip irrigation in the cut flower garden already, so that's already ready for the flower garden to be put in. You all know that I have put a drip irrigation in the back food garden in the food forest. I have put drip irrigation there, but I have also have a project that I have not released that video, I don't believe, but I'm going to give you a sneak preview of, I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm also putting in a sprinkler system in the front of the house, and I did say that I'm putting it in. I'm not hiring anyone to do it. I am doing it myself. And so I have a lot going on, and I do apologize if you've asked me for a video or if you've challenged me to do something and I haven't gotten to it yet. I have not forgotten. I'm gonna get to it, and then I will release it. It'll take a little bit of time, but I'm working on it because I have a lot of projects that I have been working on because I'm ready. I'm ready for the fall to come in, and I can just sit down and enjoy the garden. I'm ready to get to that point because I have a lot that I've been doing. You all have seen from the beginning to right now, and I had a blank slate, and so my slate is not as blank anymore, but I still have not gotten to the point of where I can just sow a seed, maintain it, and sit down. I'm still actively working, and I mean I'm putting in some serious sweat equity. So that's what the Car Chronicles is about today. A little bit long, a little bit all over the place. I hope you all got something out of this that you could use. If not, I hope it was entertainment for you. I hope you come back on the next episode. And until then, I hope to see you in the car the next time around. Bye, everybody.
Don't you cry.